Good morning. It is 7:04 a.m. on Friday, October 22nd, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. One moment. Oh my gosh. So, I feel like there's been several days recently where I'm like, whoa, what should I talk about? Whereas today, I feel like there's so much to talk about. Uh, One is that I'm kind of extra tired right now because I stayed up to watch at least a little bit of the new Critical Role Campaign 3. I haven't finished that first episode yet. I'm not really going to say anything else about it, but certainly excited to have it back. I need to finish watching that episode, and also, like, part of even what I've watched already feels a little bit like a dream. Anyway, I also, last night, finished Metroid Dread, got the ending, and I also went out to the theater to see the new Dune movie. So, first things first. Metroid Dread has a great ending. Boy, I like that game. I feel like it has a really good challenge curve, at least for me, where many of the bosses are difficult, challenging, but never quite all the way too frustrating and never cheap, and just very satisfying to finally take down. And uh, the story, such as it is exciting and interesting towards the end there. I won't spoil what happens, but I liked it a lot. Had a very good time with that game. Recommend it if you're into that, you know, genre. The Metroidvania, you might say. And then I also went to go see the Dune movie. And so here's the thing. It's very pretty. I don't dislike it, but I suspect a lot of my review is going to be a little bit of like damning with faint praise sort of thing. So I have complicated, ambivalent feelings about it because on the one hand, like I said, very pretty. Um, but so my history with Dune is that I've read the book like probably 3 times. I have seen the David Lynch movie version. I feel like there's been multiple TV miniseries versions, right? In any case, the new movie is very faithful to the book, but almost to the point where I kind of wish that it wasn't quite so faithful. Like, my experience watching the movie was weirdly just kind of like, okay, here's this bit, and then the next bit. Oh, and then here's them doing this bit. Okay, and now there's this happens. And I guess just for every step of the way, it felt like, okay, I just know exactly what's about to happen at every single moment because it just keeps happening exactly the way I expected it to. And there's very little that was surprising in it. Handful of spots. But mostly it was just kind of like, yes, here's just the movie version of that. Now, obviously, like there's stuff from the books even still that is missing, and the book or the movie is only the first half or so of the book. And there's a handful of things that they changed to its credit, but I just, like I said, I was surprised to find myself feeling like I wish they would have changed more. And I think that that's a very much your mileage may vary sort of situation because I mean there may be a lot of people who are here sitting going, finally they made a movie where it just does the book, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like the casting is good. I feel like the execution of a lot of things is good. It has a very interesting dreamlike pacing and tone, which I kind of dig actually, although I could certainly imagine some folks calling it boring because it does feel a little bit, like I said, slow is not quite right, dreamy is what it feels more like. And that is in many ways kind of appropriate to this story in some respects. And like, so there's a lot about it that is good, but I just found myself, I think, ultimately a little bit underwhelmed. Partly just kind of by virtue of feeling like I know this story so well that the movie had no surprises for me, and that was a little bit underwhelming personally. I don't know. I might have to think more on it, but that was kind of my reaction in the theater is like, oh yeah, here's all those parts that are happening. But you know, as someone that it finds the whole adaptation process interesting, like how do you decide what to take, what to keep, how to execute various changes? Like I think it is possible when adapting a book into a movie to be faithful to a fault, and I think the new movie might do that a little bit. And I'm not sure what, like I said, I'm not sure specifically what I think should have been different. It's more just a matter of because nothing was different, I just was like, yep, it just felt very routine as a result, which was a little bit of a weird feeling to have. Anyway, that's certainly not to say, like I said, I am very aware that like all of those complaints are extremely subjective, and so perhaps my own personal perspective on some of that is blinding me to not being quite as excited about some of the many other things the movie does really well. So I certainly wouldn't want to tell anybody that loved it that they shouldn't. That would be silly. But yeah, I did find myself a little bit less excited than I would have wanted to be. Anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.